Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Random Rants with Random. So I'm out of my 4 days in the hospital, riding hospital beds instead of motorbikes. I'm at my own personal little wellness retreat to recover for a few days before I have to go back to the grind of daily life. So I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on the accident and the condition of everything. So the accident happened. I was going pretty steady, but I come up over a bit of a crest. It's a combination, the typical combination of things that added up to the critical incident. So I was coming up over a crest around a slight corner, and it was very dry, slippery, loose gravel, and that is one of Kane's Achilles heels. And because I come over the crest, a little bit unweighted, going over the crest around the corner. In gravel roads, you get the hard bit, and then you get a little mound of loose gravel, and then the hard bit from the other wheel track of the cars. So Kane's back tyre just slipped into the little mound of the loose stuff, and then out he went, and the back tyre was on one side of the little mound, the front tyre was on the other side. I was fully sideways drifting for a good 3 or 4 meters. I thought maybe we got this, big boy. But then he got traction or hit a rock on his back tyre, and we high-sided big time. And I ended up probably coming down from a good 2 meters in the air at least. Tried to dive roll, but anyone that knows motorbikes, it's hard to dive roll when you're coming from almost vertically. So I totally smashed my left wrist. I could tell that as soon as I stood up. I felt pain in both arms, but I looked at my left immediately, and I could tell, that was my 4-day adventure right over. So I started looking at my right wrist, and it didn't look too bad, but it did hurt, and I gave it a good squeeze and a good wiggle, and I thought, that could be broken too, but I knew the left was definitely gone. And a mate's got up me for not filming anything of the accident or after the accident. And if I had been wearing my phone like I normally do, it would have got smashed. My chest mount that the phone goes in, it got totally smashed. So my phone would have got smashed, and who knows where it could have ended up. And also, if you film after the incident, your adrenaline and shock wears off, and then you're sitting there with and you're just done. You just go, oh my God, look at me, and you're just done. So I got up, I assessed myself. I looked over at Kane with his bash plate facing me, which meant that he'd fully rolled over, so he went sideways to the left and then high-sided, so he's fully rolled over his dash and everything. I'll show you the damage in a minute. And come down on the side that we smashed up when I threw him down the road before Christmas. So we're having a good run. He's constantly trying to kill me, that big boy. But anyway, so I stood up, assessed the situation, saw a few broken bits of cane, and thought I'll just grab whatever's still got a bolt in it so I don't lose bolts. Chucked them in my tank bag, which had also fallen off in the accident. And I couldn't be bothered trying to work out if I could zip it back on. And fortunately, thankfully, my left arm was that shattered. At the end of it, once I got going again, I had one clutch pull, and then it sat on the tank bag for the rest of the ride. So I didn't have to worry about losing my tank bag. So that was a good thing. So I put everything in my tank bag, and then I looked at Kane upside down. I looked at my definitely one broken arm. Looked at my other possibly broken arm and went, "We gonna do this, big boy?" And so I went over, got him in the right position. I can't do the pull up backwards like people do. I pulled the handlebars right out at the bottom. I almost forgot to put the stand down, but I put the stand down, got the handlebar right out, locked this good arm, my good broken arm, underneath his handguard. Got this one somewhere resembling some support, and just lifted. And it took me 2 goes, and we got him up. So, put my helmet back on, tried to put my gloves back on. I could only get the glove back on this hand. This hand was already too swollen. And chucked my helmet on. There's no way I was going to be able to refasten it again. So yeah, chucked the tank bag on, got him lined up, jumped on, pulled the clutch in. He started up pretty quickly considering he sat upside down, or not upside down, but on his side for a good, probably almost 5 minutes by the time I got my shit together. So he started pretty quickly, and like I said, I had one clutch pull in me, and I let the clutch out in first gear and off we went, and thankfully he's got a pretty smooth gearbox. I was able just to feather the throttle and change the gears up and down as needed. And so I rode a bit of that gravel dirt track out, probably maybe 5k. And then there was a couple of other gravel tracks on the way home. But yeah, I rode 2 hours to get to my wellness retreat because I knew Kane would be safe here. I couldn't stand the thought of leaving him in the bush or being everything out in the middle of nowhere and having to go backwards and forwards to get that. So I was on him, I was riding, so we were going. So pulled up at the wellness retreat. The manager there got me to the hospital in Atherton, and then I ended up down in Cairns for 4 days. Had surgery on this wrist Saturday night, the day the accident happened, Saturday afternoon. And not only was it broken, it was dislocated. And when I heard dislocated, I thought, oh, that's good, dislocation, they pull it, just pops in, you're all good. But no, not when it's your wrist. One of the big metacarpal bones, one of the biggest ones, was totally flipped upside down. So they couldn't do that without surgery. So surgery on this. They keep wanting to do surgery on this one and put it in a full cast. But I said, dude, I picked the bike up, which might have possibly realigned the bone. I said that to the doctor and they said, who knows, mate, could have. And I picked the bike up, 250 kilos Kane is when he's fully loaded, and rode 2 hours home in one hand. So I'm like, this isn't going in the cast, mate. I need to wipe my own ass. There's only 2 people that wipe my ass, me and my mother. So we've sequestered to a really, actually it's probably better than a cast. It's a thermoplastic splint that's removable for when I do need to wipe my ass. I'll stop talking about wiping my ass, probably never, so sorry about that. So yeah, that's probably better than the splint because this is a half cast plaster one. It's heavy as buggery and it's poking me in all the wrong spots, but it's doing the job. But it's heavy, that's why I've got the sling. And it's not fiberglass, so I can't melt my Meninga in the state of origin. So that's really good. It's awesome support. Still got good use of my fingers in this hand. These fingers are going a bit cold, so I've got a sock on it, but I can wiggle all the fingers in that hand. So my body's on the road to recovery. Thankfully in Australia, healthcare is free. You can pay, well, we pay taxes for the healthcare, so it's not free. But when you need it, it's there and it doesn't send you bankrupt. Only problem is it costs money to fix Kane. So alright, bear with me, I'll take you for a walk. Sorry, I can't flip and turn too many things. So you'll have to bear with me for a second because I'm using a broken good arm. Alright, so here we go. We'll start with my pants. Now my pants held up really well. There's a couple of extra rips in it, as you can see, but a lot of these rips, not that one, that's a new rip, that one that goes straight through. Some of these rips were from the stack before Christmas too, so my pants have held up and are going to be able to be used again. And I thought my jacket was going to be just torn to pieces, but my jacket's dirty and I still got gravel rash on my elbows through the pads in the elbows. But I bet the pads in the elbows and the big pad in the back save my ass a lot. But in my jacket, so there's my right arm. There's my left arm. See all the dirt still on it. But I'm so impressed with that Dry Rider jacket, not a rip or a tear. So I thought that was going to be a goner, but because it's a mesh jacket, and no, it's still good to go. You can see the neck back pad there, and then there's another big pad in the back. They're pretty good. So here's my chest camera. See how I said the phone mount's totally smashed and scratched up? So if I'd have been filming, my phone would have been smashed. And here's my tank bag. It come off in the crash. Not sure if you can pick it up, but all the clear plastic on the top scratched. And it did actually rip the zip off. But I'm pretty sure the miracle of Velcro will be able to fix this situation. Unfortunately smashed the same joint on both my knee guards. Well, not the same joint, the outer right and the inner left joint on my knee guards. I do have another older set of these that have the same plastics. Hopefully I can work out how to undo the rivets and swap the broken bits over. So they were awesome knee guards, Thor Force. They're like a knee brace, knee guard. And I've had them since I bought Katie. Well, this is the second pair since Katie. And then I bought the new Thor Force thinking they'd be really good, and they were shit. So I got a brand new pair of Thor Force knee pads if anyone wants them. Extra yowie size. So work our way around here. Here's the gloves. These were $70 gloves. They're the most I've spent on gloves ever. Sorry, I'm trying to flip the other one. And they survived the broken rib incident, but the left glove is perfectly intact still, hardly a mark, but the right glove, which is my good hand, ripped the palm completely out of it. So I couldn't put the left glove back on, but I put my right glove on and we headed home. And my helmet I thought would be a goner, but it hasn't even broken off the peak. There's scratches down here on the visor and the helmet. You can see scratches on the peak there. There's a few scratches around the back here. Little stainless things have fallen out, but one of them had already done that in those holes with stainless things. And then the only other mark is around here. And it's hard to tell on camera, but they're very, very superficial. And all these sharp edges have hardly got a scratch on them. So I think the helmet survived and will live to be worn another day. So I know the deal with helmets, and I've had a good look over it, and it's very superficial scratches. Not like my favourite KTM Racelight helmet in the last accident was totally obliterated, and if I wasn't wearing it, I would have been dead. But anyway, down we go. In my old Alpine Star Tech 3s, most awesome boots you can buy are the Alpine Stars. I can only afford Tech 3s. They're looking a bit rough, but that's all just old age. They handled the accident perfectly, and my legs feel perfectly fine with... I thought I was almost going to wear my work boot style boots, but I thought, nah, I'm doing big boy riding, I better do my big boy boots. And it's probably lucky I did, looking at my knee braces later. So my legs are perfectly fine considering the normal issues. So some things destroyed, some things not too bad. Sorry about the sunlight, it will hopefully rectify itself. Bit of a look around my wellness retreat before we have to deal with the other critical patient in the story. Sorry about the sun, guys. Doing the best I can. Yeah, big boy, you alright, mate? You're doing alright, aren't you? So, we'll start with some good things. Me soft luggage and me bag on the top, it fell off earlier in the ride. Had a bit of a tumble down the gravel. Both sides of me soft bags, they handled the stack and no scratches. So we'll start with the good stuff. So like I said, this is the left side, and as you can see, this is the side I initially thought I was going to slide out and go down on, but because we high-sided and flipped over, there's no scratches on this side at all. So how good's that, guys? Fucking good news everywhere. And also, even though I totally broke the mount out of my front brake reservoir, I didn't break the mirror. So I can replace this broken mirror. It's just good luck everywhere, eh, guys? So, unfortunately, here we get to the bad stuff. So we got, like I said, he rolled over his head. So his windscreen's smashed off my spotlight switch. Couple of scratches right on the top of the gauge there, but otherwise the dash is okay, so that's a good thing. The plastic boot, the rubber boot of me cables, all ripped up, few scratches, but not too bad. Couple of scratches there. I'll get around the other side in a sec. The only other weird one is there's a couple, I don't know if you can pick it up, there's a couple of scratches on me high-low beam there. So that's how it's sort of he pretty much just rolled enough just to scrape the top. Scratches on the heated hand grip. Sorry about the focus, guys. So yeah, some weird little scratches, just slight, like I said, on the top of the switches. That mirror didn't smash off. And yeah, so he's only just rolled over and didn't smash a lot of this stuff, so that's good. Really, the only thing that smashed is his windscreen. The headlight's still fine. I think I've got all the bolts with the broken bits. So if anyone knows where I can get a windscreen for a KTM 950, let me know. So my brand new black and white hand guards that were popping are now popped. This one's scratched up pretty good. So yeah, no scratches this side, broken. My world turning compass is still functioning. Around this side, the top here, something in the subframe is bent in slightly. I don't know if you can pick that up at all. So I should be able to tweak that out pretty easy when I can use my hands again. But now, instead of the scratches down the bottom that I covered up with some duct tape just so it would pass the cursory glance, the bash guard, which I'm lucky I'd put back on again, of course I did to go off-road, is scratched up, but no more damage to the tank, thankfully. But unfortunately I've got a few more scratches up high. The tiniest little scuff on the tank there, you probably can't, there you go, you can pick that up in the sun. But yeah, now he's scratched all the way up. Didn't break the blinker. I told you, the good news never ceases. And yeah, scratched all the way up and up over the top. So there's there's a pole here I'm trying to deal with. So there's me broken mirror mount and scratched up reservoir. But like I said, I serviced all that before I left and that's still functioning perfectly. He's still functioning and riding perfectly, he's just smashed up. So I can put accessory mirrors that bolt to the handlebars, so that's okay. But remember how I said they are popped? Look at that one, guys, brand new, first ride. Oh man, but I'll be buying them again. I really like that design. And they protected something. Not many scratches on the metal bit. So with these Ego ones, you can just buy the plastics. So once again, the good news never ends. I just have to buy plastic bits. So yeah, all I really need, I thought he was smashed when I come home. I don't think you can see it anymore. Oh yeah, you can still see it. When I come home, Mum, the manager's mode. See the little skiddy marks there? When I come home, I got down in the first gear, and I was planning to hit the kill switch and stop in the shed, but big fella stalled out on me. Had me landing gear down, but the big fella stalled out on me up there. The manager come out and helped me get off. I couldn't get off. If I had to get off, I would have just left. I would have just fallen off, guys. I don't think I could have got off, but I would have. I just rode this thing 2 hours home. Of course I would have got off. What am I talking about? But anyway, so Kane and I will live again. And we will be going a lot steadier on dry gravel everywhere from now on. So there you go, guys. It could have been a lot worse. And like I said, even if I had done filming, which the internet loves after a crash, I wouldn't have got Kane up and I wouldn't have got home. Fortunately, I knew there was another car down the track that had to come out where I was, so I knew if I really got stuck, there was someone coming. It's just when they were coming. I didn't know whether they were camping the night down that track or what. So I knew they were down there. I knew how they had to come past me, but I didn't know when they'd be doing that. So you make the most of the adrenaline. That's why whoever gave us the adrenaline to deal with these things. Get up and get going before you just sit there and think about how bad you are. So like I said, guys, I thought Kane was smashed up way worse. That's dented in a bit. The scratches are a bit, actually, they only look deeper because they're in the tape I put on there. But it bent the bash bar in a bit, but I can fix that being a fire guard. So nothing to the front end. So it could have been way worse, and now I get to recover for a few days in paradise in beautiful far north Queensland. So sorry that was a bit longer, guys. I know you don't like my longer videos, but I thought I'd better share the whole story and show our recovery. So next time, Kane, let's keep it real on the back wheel. That was the best shucker I've ever done.